Now I call this council meeting to order, Dublin City Council meeting to order. As everyone stand, a prayer by Councilman Smith, and follow prayer, we have pledge of allegiance.
Right here, please. Lord, we just want to thank you for allowing us to come together this day. And we just want to ask you to help the city and city council make the best decisions we can for the city. We ask you to give us all traveling grace to and from. So in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. First on agenda, we have approval of the February the 20th City Council meeting minutes.
Move for approval.
Second.
I will move for approval in a second. Move approved by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Chris Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have approval of bills over 3,000.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Griggs to pay the bills, second by Councilman Chris Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Okay, next we have approval of purchases over 3,000.
I have one purchase for consideration. This is for a big truck, big tractor truck. Our 1989 Ford F900 that we use at the waste treatment plant has blown an engine, and it's old. And what we'd recommend is we found a good used one, $38,500. The Thomas Sewell from the shop has checked it out, and staff recommendation is to purchase this used vehicle.
Council have any question? All right, council, what say ye?
I move for approval, Mr. Mayor.
Got a move approved by Councilman Gerald Smith,
Second.
second by Councilman Davis, Jerry Davis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Ayes have it.
I should have said Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. Correct.
All right, next on the agenda item, we'll have budget presentation from the Lawrence County Library first, followed by the International Committee, the St. Patrick's Committee, and then the Lawrence County Tourism. Ask that you, as they say, you know, after 3 minutes, we might not be listening, so kind of make it kind of brief.
I promise mine will be clear.
Okay.
First, I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to update you on library programs and services.
Excuse me, can you state your name?
My name is Beverly Brown. I'm the director of the Lawrence County Library. Here are some statistics for FY19. The Lawrence County Library has 18,052 active registered patrons. We had 103,206 patrons and visitors who walked through our doors. We had 95,383 physical items checked out, and 48% of those items were children's materials. 5,918 computer sessions were registered by patrons and visitors. Library staff answered 11,175 reference questions. Community members volunteered 244 hours of their time. The library offered 144 children's programs. We had 5,539 in attendance. 64 adult programs. We had 528 in attendance. 42 young adult programs with 235 people attending. 32 all-age programs with 992 attending. In addition to our weekly and monthly library programs, during the 2019 school year, the library has supported the library needs of the Irish Gifted Academy. Their students visit the Lawrence County Library every week. The library has provided research guidance to Dublin High School's International Baccalaureate program through in-class workshops. We've enjoyed the volunteer support of the Dublin High School's International Baccalaureate program and the Dublin High School's Beta Club students to help us prepare for our fall book sale. We started partnering with Pathways Homeschool Cooperative on 2 monthly programs for homeschools. One of these programs is on Friday. And speaking of Fridays, we'd like to thank the City Council for giving us the funding to open on Fridays. In 2019, 12,736 people visited the library, averaging 249 patrons visiting the library on Fridays. 9,386 books were checked out, averaging 184 books per Friday. 2,388 computer sessions were enjoyed, averaging 47 per Friday. 49 meetings were held, averaging a meeting every Friday. So far for 2020, the average number of patrons has increased to 320 per Friday. Lastly, I have a few interesting facts about public libraries. Excuse me. Did you know that more than 172 Americans have library cards? That means more than half of the American public has a library card. In Georgia, over 4 million residents have library cards. That means that 40% of the Georgia population has a library card. In Lawrence County, over 18,000 residents have library cards. That means that 38% of the Lawrence County population has a library card. Did you know that millennials use the library more than any other generation? According to the Pew Research Center, about half of U.S. millennials have visited a public library or bookmobile in the past year. Libraries across the country work hard to dispel the common misconception that nobody uses the library anymore. Because we know how important the library is to our community, the Board of Trustees, the staff, and I thank you for your support of the library. Do you have any questions?
What are the hours on the Friday?
We're open 9 until 5.
Is that the same as every day or
We're
just Friday?
open Monday through Thursday from 9 until 7,
That's what I thought, yeah.
and Saturdays from 10 until 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dublin Nissan might be the best kept secret in Middle Georgia.
And we have state-of-the-art technicians like John Lowry, who's been with us for over 36 years.
The Titan, one tough truck.
I'm Henrietta Williams here at Dublin Nissan. I've been here for 25 years. For your best deal in town, come see me.
Save gas and money with a Sentra.
We live here and we work here, and we love to give back the Heart of Georgia United Way.
Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
International Committee. Don't forget to state your name.
Janet Smith, Chairman of International Committee. And state your name
Royce Hall.
and your name.
Bob Walker.
Okay. So, thank you for the opportunity to be here, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. And we're here to address, did I say that right?
Council
Got me wrong.
chair.
Council Chair, excuse me. Okay, so I'm going by my notes. So please convey these remarks to Mayor Best that we make to you today, please. The International Committee would like to thank the City of Dublin for creating an international committee to help attract businesses in our area by providing jobs for local citizens and also an opportunity to share our cultures and to be more than a business relationship, but to become friends. 21 years ago, former Mayor Bob Walker planted a seed to bring international companies to our area. It started with YKK. Through him, we have an appreciation of Japanese culture, as well as the cultures from other international companies who have chosen to make Dublin their home. But you probably want to know a little bit more about the International Committee. So the International Committee started, as I said, 21 years ago through Bob. And 1 year, Japanese students come here. The next year, we send students from Dublin to Japan, and then the third year's a buy. This year is the buy year. So next year, we will have Japanese students here. Usually we have 9 and several adults that come. Then the next year, we will have students from the Dublin area that go, and we'll have adults that go with them. And how do you get to be chosen to go? To be a candidate, you have to write an essay. Isn't that right? Yes. And explain why you would like to go. You have to go through a series of interview questions, and it's a real intense interview to select the people that will be chosen to get to go. So we thank you for your support, and now I'm going to turn it over to Bob. Okay?
Last year, Royce Hall was one of the chaperones that took our group of students over to Japan, and they had a very successful trip. So we had a lot of activity in our checkbook. I'm serving as treasurer, so we ended up
that session with about $3,700 in the checking account. There has been very little activity since then, so our most recent statement, January 31st, shows $3,447 in the checkbook. The city council has been gracious to give the committee $1,500 a year. There's that amount in the current budget, and we request that amount in the budget that will begin July 1st of 2020. I have a little sheet here with those figures on there, if anybody would like to have it. Blake has one, and if you need any more of these, I'd be glad to pass them around, but it's very short and sweet. Yep.
Blake's got it.
Any questions?
Blake.
Question?
I would say also that we should make note that YKK does supplement the expenses on the trip, both for the Japanese students who come here as well as our students who go to Japan too. So it's a nice partnership that we have with them, and it's been going on for a long time, but thank you.
So we'll be preparing to receive the Japanese students in 2021, and then we'll have another group of Dublin students in 2022.
And we've had over 100 from here to go and 100 from Japan to come here. So that's been quite a wonderful sister city exchange.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
St. Patrick Committee. Are you just up here?
Royce Hall again, and
Hey, I'm Pepper Cooley. I'm Royce's co-chair this year.
and we just want to first of all just thank the council for the support and the years of support and the support that we're having right now through the St. Patrick's Festival. That right now we're just giving a brief overview of what's going to take place between now and the end of March, and we'll come back in April, May, and give a financial budget whenever that be good to do that. What transacted during that process. But anyway, we are happy to be serving as co-chairs. This is a organization, a committee that is providing economy for the community, creating family-oriented environments. It's just a time where we all just come together. You know, it's no political thing. It's just family, just serving one another and just working together. That's the whole purpose of the St. Patrick's. If you do remember, how it started, R.E. Big Killebrew was the one who started it with an idea and telling jokes on the radio. So from that point on, it began to be a community event. So the ball haven't dropped, and the ball is going to continue to go for years and years. And we just thank the council for allowing us to do that. But we're not going to stay here long. We just want to just give you a brief overview, just to say thank you for the support that has been given, financially to the committee. And the things that the St. Patrick's Committee that it has sponsored through this season, our theme is Leaping to St. Patrick's 2020. We had a successful gala last Saturday, and I would say something. I was gonna say something else, but I better keep it clean. But anyway, I'm just saying we had a great time. I drank a lot of sweet tea, and it was good. But however, it served its purpose. Everybody had a great time. That was the whole point of it. And then also tonight we're having the awards banquet. Ms. Helen Harper is chairing that, and that's tonight at 7 o'clock at the Dublin Country Club. And on behalf of Ms. Helen, the tickets are $25. If you're planning to go by the chamber before the day or pay at the door. It's up to your choice. So it's a great event. We have plaques for the award winners, and we have food and fun for everybody. And then we also have the Irish Balloon Fest, the Glow, and a car show this year. And again, let me just say this: it's the weather permits. Mm-hmm. How it's raining now. The balloonists will not come if there's too much rain or thunder or lightning. But anyway, we're going to have on March the 13th, the Balloon Glow and a movie night. And I think the movie is
The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. So some of us have seen it, some haven't. If you want to see it again, just bring your lawn chair out, and we got a big screen that's going to take place. And Patrick Thames and Robin Flanders are the two that are chairing that committee. And we're looking to have a great time. So the car show starts at 1:30 to 4:30. Gonna be live music at 5:30, and then also on March the 14th, that's that Saturday, it'll be tether ride. So if you have children that want to just go up in the balloon just for a little while, just bring them out. They're gonna be the same ladies that was out there last year, and the gentlemen. They're two violinists, and it's real nice, and they're playing the drums. And just bring your lawn chairs, and you have a great time that night as well. And moving a little quicker, we're gonna have the Munchies on March the 20th. At Studs Park. Kathy Jones and Jeff Cannon are chairing that, and we're looking to have a great time. It's free to the public. Come out and eat and listen to a band on that night. That's at Studs Park. Arts and Crafts, and of course, this is our sponsored events for St. Patrick's. So the Arts and Crafts is working with the Downtown Development Authority, and we have put the plans in action, and everything is rolling now. So that's March the 21st at 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's what we be with the Arts and Crafts. And the other big event that we got is going to be the Super Sunday Brunch. That's March the 22nd. We did it for the first time last year. It was a great success. So if after church, you want to just drop in, of course, you got to pay for it online. So if you want to drop in for a few seconds, just do that too as well. And that's March the 22nd at the Dublin Country Club. If you want to go before church, come out. Or if you want to go after church, it'd be lunch and breakfast. That's our report for right now, and we'll come back to you in April or May and make a full report financially. You want to say something?
No, just we appreciate your dedication to our committee, and I think it's a huge, important thing that we continue to do, and I just appreciate all that y'all sacrifice as part of your budget to support us. I'm relatively new here, and the St. Patrick's Committee has definitely welcomed me and made me feel like Dublin is home. So I look forward to serving in a different capacity in years to follow. So thank y'all so much.
And she's the real queen.
I will say that the St.
Thank
Patrick
you.
Festival was on the WMAZ polling question this morning for one of the spring events, which things that you like to attend in March. It was on there with the Cherry Blossom Festival and another couple more festivals. So people got to go. I think we might have finished third.
Okay.
People wasn't up there early, about 5 o'clock this morning.
And just remember, this is Dublin March event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is your internet slowing your business down? If so, call the City of Dublin for our fiber optic based internet, 478-296-1008.
All right, Dublin Lawrence Tourism.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Johnson, Executive Director with Visit Dublin, Georgia.
Hello.
Kind of wanted to kick things off because I was lucky enough to share the stage with a few of you. Last week, Georgia Association of Convention and Visitors Bureaus has a new award. It's not one that you can nominate yourself for, so it is a real, actual commendation for the City of Dublin. We were nominated for our work on the MLK Monument Project, and we shared the stage with travel leaders like from Savannah and Macon and Dahlonega, places that have budgets that are sometimes 10 times more than ours. We accomplished a feat that was as great as theirs. So I want you guys to pat yourself on the back for supporting this project. We are looking at ways this year that we can finish it up. So I really want to thank you for your support through the years as we set about building this, and the entire state of Georgia also thanks you. Moving forward, this is a little bit of what we focused on in 2008 and 2019. Tons of new product was developed. We worked with Garbett Construction on the Bellevue Avenue banners, a comprehensive downtown signage program, and restoration of 417 Telfair Street in partnership with the Downtown Development Authority. That's the building that backs up to MLK Monument Park. All of that was entirely group funded, or grant funded. A huge focus for us this year was really sitting down and looking at the numbers. We showed a 5% increase in revenue for hotel motel tax. That's good, but it's not good enough. So we developed a entirely new position for group sales. Pretty much what I did is I looked around, did some recon, attended a conference, and stole it from Macon. I literally did. We stole it. That conference has been in Macon for 20 years, and this is the first time in 20 years that they put this process out to bid. I went to the conference. I pretty much made friends with the meeting planners. And it really showed us this is a conference that is expected to host 700 people, but it's not a one-time event. They're going to be here 3 times a year for the next 2 years on the weekends when our hotels are primarily empty. So this got us to thinking, because as part of this conference, there were 4 other bid requests that came in. So we sat down with the board and developed a position that would be entirely devoted to group sales. Luckily, in my staff, I have had a person that was qualified, so we promoted her. I want you to take a look at the numbers. These are the state numbers, and in 2016, just under $83 million was generated in direct tourism spending here in Lawrence County. In a year, that jumped up to almost $87.5 million. $5 million of increase in direct tourism spending. That is phenomenal. And with this new focus on group sales and conventions, I expect that that number will be even larger. I'm really interested in seeing what our actual 2019 economic report will look like from the state. So the next slide kind of gives you a real quick slice look at our budget. As you can tell, most of it goes to payroll, insurance, and taxes. A lot of that is because we operate a visitor center that's open 7 days a week. And that also includes our new group sales position. So overall, advertising, product development, visitor center, legal and operations, and payroll, we're right at $226,000. That's what I've projected for the next year based on this past year, and we're not expecting much difference. I'm expecting an increase of about 2 to 5%. But the following year, when we have the full numbers on all the meetings and conventions, we expect that number to jump. So, and on the next slide is kind of a media kit I was asked to put together for Visit Dublin, and Dublin in general. And it kind of talks about all of the partnerships that we do, all of the advertising that we do, and you have it there in front of you. So it gives a really good picture of who we are as a community and our focus on tourism. Did you have any questions? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations to each of you on this award.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to repeal and replace section 14-5 of the Code of Ordinance concerning drinking in public.
Ordinance, excuse me, ordinance number 20-03, an ordinance by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin to repeal section 14-5, drinking in public of Article 1 of Chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the city of Dublin, and to create a new section 14-5, and more particularly defined terms to clarify prohibited conduct relating to the possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages in public, and to restrict the consumption or possession of open alcoholic beverages on semi-public parking facilities, to set an effective date and for other lawful purposes.
All right, we'll now close this council meeting, open up public hearing. Is there anyone to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone here to speak in opposition of the ordinance? Not close the public hearing, reopen council, reopen council meeting. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move for approval.
Second.
I will move for approval by Councilman Davis, second by Councilman Brown. Mr. Blake, Daniels, we call the roll.
Yes.
Councilman Gerald Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Griggs.
Yes.
Councilman Chris Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
All right. Next item on the agenda, second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to amend the mobile food service unit ordinance. That'll be you, Mr. Jones, or
Yeah.
gonna give it to?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Excuse me. It's ordinance number 20-05, an ordinance by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin to amend Article 5, mobile food service of Chapter 12 licenses, to clarify and alter the requirements for mobile food service unit location approvals, to set an effective date and for other lawful purposes.
That's it. All right. I'd like to close the council meeting. Open for a public hearing. Anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone here to speak in opposition of the ordinance? All right, we'll close the public hearing, reopen council meeting. Council, what's your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Griggs, second by Councilman Chris Smith. Mr. Daniels, you read, call the roll.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Gerald Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Griggs.
Yes.
Councilman Chris Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
All right.
Tax season is here, and Jackson's Income Tax Service is ready to serve you. Jackson's Income Tax Service is open year-round to serve all of Lawrence and surrounding counties with all your tax needs. So don't delay. Come in today and get your taxes done and out of the way. Since 1987, Jackson's Income Tax Service has always stayed abreast of current and future tax laws and provided quality customer care while maintaining ethical and professional tax practices. Email Jackson's Income Tax Service at jits.tax@gmail, call 272-8681, or visit us at 610 North Church Street in Dublin.
So come to Jackson's Income Tax Service,
Where experience makes the difference.
Next item on the agenda, second reading and public hearing of an ordinance to reactivate the Martin Luther King Jr. Corridor Enterprise Zone. Mr. Jones.
All right. Ordinance number 20-04, an ordinance by the mayor and council of the city of Dublin to create an enterprise zone pursuant to Chapter 88 of Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, to be known as the Martin Luther King Jr. Corridor Enterprise Zone, to designate a liaison for applicants for the enterprise zone benefits, to establish tax and other incentives, to set an effective date, and for other lawful purposes.
All right, we'll close the council meeting, open up a public hearing. Is there anyone here in favor, speak in favor of the ordinance? Anyone here to speak in opposition of the ordinance? All right, we'll close the public hearing, reopen the council meeting. Council, what's your pleasure?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Davis, second by Councilman Brown. Mr. Daniels, read, call the roll.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Chris Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Griggs.
Yes.
Councilman Gerald Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
All right. Next item on the agenda, discussion and action on a GDTO roadside enhancement and beautification grant resolution authorizing the city of Dublin to enter into mowing and maintenance agreement upon award.
They recently changed the name of this grant that we're applying for. In the past, it was called a Gateway Grant, and now it's an REBC grant, which is, the Gateway Grant was more descriptive, but it's a grant the State Highway Department has for communities to improve the gateways into their community, roads coming into town. We've applied for this twice. We received it for the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, and we received it for the triangle there at Smith and Telfair Street, where that was improved. I mean, both of those projects, by the way, are on the GDOT right away, on the GDOT website, so they like the projects we've done. This is part of the application process, and to be eligible to receive another grant, we just have to agree that we will be responsible for maintaining it should we be successful. So all this is doing is the city, resolution by the city that we will maintain any area that grant's used for.
All right. Any question, council? All right, what's your pleasure?
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Brown, second by Councilman Griggs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next item on the agenda, discussion and action of the updated travel policy for the city of Dublin. Mr. Davis?
There are two issues, two items that we want to update. One pertains to group meals, and then the other, the 60-day requirement that all travel must be turned in and completed. Otherwise, it becomes taxable income to the traveler.
Have any questions? Pleasure of council.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Griggs, second by Councilman Davis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, the ayes have it. All right, the last on next on.
I do have one question though, just as an aside. What if you don't turn the bill in at all? Is there a penalty for it? You just eat it?
Okay. All right. Item number 10, presentation by representative of the GMBC 12th District Adjourned Session Convention. Please come up and state your name.
Hello. Hello. I'm Elgin Dixon, and I have with me my cadre of constituents who have worked with us on the 2020 adjourned session for the General Missionary Baptist Convention of Georgia. And we just came today to say thank you to the City of Dublin, to this council, for all of your support that you lended to us during February, the week of February 17th, when we had over 500 guests in our city. The hotels were full, the restaurants were filled. They left some tax dollars with us, and we enjoyed that, but we also enjoyed them being able to say that Dublin was a memorable time for them during the 2020 adjourned session. Not only was the 2020 adjourned session a memorable event, we also have one of our local born-raised gentlemen that will be running for our state president for the General Missionary Baptist Convention, that in the person of Anthony Q. Corbett. And so we are expecting him to become the next state president for the General Missionary Baptist Convention of Georgia. So Dublin, Georgia will be on the mind of the state as it looks towards General Missionary Baptist Convention. So on behalf of President Willie Edwards, who is our 12th District President, President KB Martin of Augusta, Georgia, I would like to leave this plaque with you all, and somewhere I'm sure the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, will find some place to put another plaque. But we just want to say it as a point of gratitude that we appreciate every act of kindness that you extended to us. Y'all didn't have to do, y'all went beyond the call of duty, and everyone enjoyed their stay in Dublin, Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
With Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, I can get auto, home, life, even banking all in one place. Pretty convenient if you ask me.
Always the home team, Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance. Visit us online at gfbinsurance.com.
All right, now, any citizens like to address council, citizen comments?
you got one.
Come on.
Step forward and
Come on, step forward. Say your name.
I think everybody knows me. I'm Bill George, or William George. I've been before this council several times before on good projects and so forth and so on, trying to help the citizens of this city. I worked for the federal government as an engineer for 40 years. And after I retired, I had some time to come back and do some good things for the city of Dublin and so forth. Like when we were trying to get the solar farm for Parker Dairy Road, I came in and addressed all the questions that the population had to not want to have that. And I think we put all those issues to bed. And I am glad that I was able to support you, the council, and the city of Dublin doing this. Now, I realize some things have happened since then, that has been put on the back burner and not being done at this time. But that's one thing I did. And also, I supported the police department on a project that we were looking at to do. And I think the chief was well pleased with the types of information I gave to him with trying to keep this to probably be one of the best police departments we do have. I appreciate this city. I always give kudos to the people who work here, because these are good people that work here. I mean, even the city guys that come up and take my garbage and trash off, I see them just now, since I'm retired, I see them all the time. I give them Coca-Colas and everything, because you know what? That's an important job. And I appreciate them. And I tell them that. And I tell the janitor that you have out here that does the bathrooms, I tell everybody I know that works for the city what a good job they do. But I'm not here to tell you about that sort of stuff. I'm just trying to say, I think most of you know me, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. I have a problem, and I want to talk to you about it just a little bit. And it has to do, and Matthew, of the engineering department, he knows about it. I've talked to him about it and so forth and so on. And I know it happens to deal with the rain that we've been having. We've had two big rain swats that hit us before this last one hit us. The first swats that hit us hit me personally, and we had some sanitary sewer systems back up, and it just backed up at the top of our street and affected me. Everybody else below me didn't have any problems. Okay, so that was an interesting thing. Of course, it went away. I had certain problems about 30 years ago when we first built the house, and at that time, I put in double backflow protection. They don't even require any for the city. But they say, well, you just put this one backflow in here and you'll be okay. Well, I put two of them in. That's the type of engineer I am, you know. If one is good, two's better. And so I did that. And it does protect me from me being, you know, having sewage come back into the house or something like that. But it also stops there, and that doesn't allow me to put any more of my waste back down into the system, into the sanitary sewers. Now, I am a licensed professional engineer in the state of Georgia. I'm an electrical nuclear, but I do know quite a bit about civil engineering too. And Matthew and I have talked about stuff like that. But I'm here today to say that it happened again this time. This is the third rainstorm. And Mr. George, that's me. You know, I'm about tired of, and to say, well, you know, it's just going to happen when it's rain. But this is a problem. And like I say, I'm an engineer, so I'm kind of knowing this sort of stuff. If it's happening while it's raining, that means that the storm sewers are feeding into the sanitary sewers somewhere. Now, that's a violation of the state of Georgia and EPA of the federal government. I would like to address this problem and let you know that I'm going to address this problem. And I'm going to try and figure out, and I'm going to work with the city, as I always do, to find out what we can do to do that. And I think that we have enough brain power to figure out what the problems are and to fix it versus to say, you know what, it's just going to have to happen. Because truthfully, if we're putting storm sewer waste into the sanitary sewer, we're in violation. And so we need to address that sort of thing. And I know, you do talk to the state when things happen and explain to them what's happening and so forth. But I think it's time that we address the problem, work on the problem, and allow me to help you do it. Because I, for one, have a stake to have this done. And I'd be willing to help with that and work with you. I'm not here to beat you up or anything like that. Sometimes, I think about it, but I realize that it's not really your problem. I think sometimes you work with me. That's the important thing. That we do not want the state to come in and tell us what to do. We need to find out what's going on and correct it. Then when we tell the state, hey, we found this and corrected it, we're heroes. We're not the villains to them either. So I mean, I'm bringing it to your attention, and it needs to be done. And regardless of whether you okay or not, I am going to go and I'm going to get some information from these guys, some of the drawings of the sewer lines and stuff like that, and do some calculations and stuff, and figure if we can figure out where things are happening. Because it's just not right physics. And if you all would work with me, I sure would appreciate it.
Yes, we'll take it in consideration. Matthew will be happy to work with you.
Okay, again, I'm not coming here to beat on you, but I'm just letting you know as an engineer that we have a problem and we need to fix it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other citizen comments? Yes, sir. Come on up, state your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Markeith Mitchell.
Good afternoon.
I ran into a situation coming down Jefferson Street, downtown Dublin, Sunday night, about 11:30, with our police department. A young man, he was mental health. He was in the raid. The officers was over there. They intervened with him. The officer claimed he was on some cars or something. I don't know. I just pulled over and I seen the officer on top of the young man around his neck. When I got within law distance, made sure I had my camera recording, trying to calm the guy down and say, hey, just go ahead and comply, but they won't hurt you. After that, the guy calmed down. He began to start talking within himself. I knew something went wrong when the officer went on. They treated him with respect at that time. They put his hands behind his back. They handcuffed the young man, and he walked on back towards the inner part of the car lot of pits. They did get an EMS over there to check him out. After that incident, the guy got back, after EMS got back into a raid. He was going through his, I'm assuming, mental health issue. I knew something was wrong with him. When I was kind of walking away, I still had the phone on. The officer reached down and punched the young man in the face. I stayed there. I made a talk with the supervisor. I was upset. What I saw, it didn't make any sense. Supervisor, he talked with me. I got in contact with, back down to the city department, police department Monday. I reached out to the chief. They say he wasn't in. I haven't heard anything back. I'm asking you all to step in and do something about this incident, because that young man was assaulted. And if anyone punches anybody, they go down to the county with charges. It shouldn't be no written up file. That was assault. My video has it. I have the video. I'm sure the money we're gonna spend with the grants and everything else with the police department, I'm sure they're gonna review it. Now I'm asking you all to review it. Something needs to be done about it. You knocked on the doors and asked for help. We gave it to you. Now give us our help back. So we're asking you all to step up, do what you're supposed to do. And this shouldn't ever happen again. What I saw, I was upset. I really was upset. And that shouldn't have happened. The supervisor, he did his job. He did get the officer to step away. But what the officer did, it was uncalled for. It was uncalled for. And something needs to be done about it. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Just let me ask you before you go, did you say you had the video of it?
I do have the video. I sent it over to the supervisor, but I do have the video where you could see the officer punching.
Okay, and
young man.
And the chief's sitting right there behind you, so if you make sure he has a copy of it, he'll be happy to talk with you about it after the meeting too.
Okay.
We'll definitely investigate it.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
It can be tough deciding what kind of vehicle you should buy.
But here at Dublin Ford Lincoln, we make it easy for anyone to find their perfect ride.
Perhaps your family is growing and you need some room for your next expedition. Or maybe you've heard about the all-new Explorer and you've just got to have one.
You may have a lot of work to do and need a tough truck to help get it done. Or maybe you're just always in a hurry and need to go faster. Others call you customers?
We call you friends.
That's Dublin Ford Lincoln.
Seeing none, all right, council, we'll go to council comments. Start with Council Chris Smith.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. I want to thank the different organizations. We appreciate everything you're doing and bringing to the city.
And I just want to encourage everyone to stay safe and make sure you use a lot of sanitizer. Thank you.
Councilman Griggs.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'd like to thank everyone that made their presentations for each group today. We certainly appreciate the feedback that we're getting. It helps us in our decisions that we make. And everybody have a safe week. Thanks for coming.
Councilman Gerald Smith.
Well, I also would thank everybody for coming. I really appreciate you two citizens coming before us and bringing some issues that we can look into and try to help get resolved. You know, we don't do everything perfectly, but we do an awful lot of good things, and we do try to get to the bottom and fix things that are wrong. So be safe. Wash your hands carefully. This coronavirus is nothing to be taken lightly, I don't think, and encourage everybody else to, to use good sanitary practices. So thank you for coming.
Councilman Bill Brown.
Thank you. I too would just like to thank everybody for coming, all the presentations. We appreciate the valuable information and you reporting that to us. Thank you to the 12th District of the General Missionary Baptist Church for your convention. We're always pleased to host you. As shown in our tourism report, that has an impact on our hotel motel tax dollars among our private citizens and their various entities as well, so we appreciate that. Also would like to thank citizens for coming forward with their issues, and they will be looked at and certainly will be adjudicated as they need to be. So as always been spoken, coronavirus, I believe, need to be wary of that, and also just it's really wet out there. So take heed to areas that you know you shouldn't be in, because there are some roads that are covered in water, and otherwise just be safe. Thank you.
Councilman Davis.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I agree with a lot of the sentiments from the other council members. I do want to thank the city council for all of their help in being a part of the renaming of Grady Street to Samuel Moore Senior Street. We did that on last Saturday and appreciate everything that the city did. One special thanks to Ms. Brooke Reagan for her part in that dedication. She did an outstanding job. Thank you very much. Also, want to thank all of the committees that came and did the presentation, especially Visit Dublin, Ms. Rebecca Johnson and Ms. Donna sitting out there. They do a wonderful job. Thank you very much for all you do. I want to thank Ms. Beverly Brown is gone, but all of the committee members that presented, we thank them for what they do. Mr. Bill Brown, he's a former, Mr. Bill George is a former president of our neighborhood watch group over in Rolling Woods Estate. And his shoes are hard to fill. We haven't gotten a replacement yet. We would like for you to reconsider that position because we need somebody over there. Just had an incident on last Sunday. Stray person was walking through the neighborhood, I've been informed, walking through the neighborhood, and we have this house empty over there. They had the ladder coming down from where you go up in the attic. This individual walked to the house, walked up the ladder, went all in the attic, went in the backyard, the gate was open, and went in the shed. And a group of us did call the police. They came over and looked around. I don't know whether they've arrested anybody, but we have pictures and everything of the person, so it looked like somebody should be able to be found about with that situation, because those are the things that are happening in our neighborhoods. But if we have a neighborhood watch group and we could report these incidents to the committee members, our neighborhood watch group, we can be on the lookout for things that happen like that. And when we see it, if we get on the phone and call the police right away, we probably can catch them in the act. But if you would, Mr. George, if you would reconsider that, we certainly need another president of our neighborhood watch group. Want to thank Royce for the many hats that he wear, not only working with St. Patrick Festival, but being our point person for Census 2020. You're doing an outstanding job, and we appreciate it very much. I also want to thank former Councilwoman Ms. Drigger for being here and also working with First African Baptist Church and with us hosting that 12th District Adjourned session of the GMBC. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all the help that we got from the city and everybody that was involved in that. And lastly, that COVID-19, that coronavirus, we have a lot of resources that we can refer to. The hospital, the city sends out different things about the things that we could do just as preventive measures. We have to take it seriously so we can limit the spread of the virus. Thank you very much.
Mr. Dan Powell, I'm sorry. Mr. Dames.
Just very quickly on the coronavirus, it's nothing at this time. It's nothing to panic about. But I just want everybody to know that the city staff's been tasked by the mayor with making sure we're prepared. We're working on that very hard, making sure we're ready to go. Whatever comes, the city's working very closely also with the county EMS, county health officials to be ready and have our plans in place. So just want to assure everybody we're working hard to be ready if anything happens. Thank y'all.
In closing, I'd like to say, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. Everyone be safe. And to the citizens, to everyone that gave their presentation, did a wonderful job. Library, it's a passion of mine. I grew up in the library. And I love the library. You read, learn to read, and reading take you a lot of places. So I encourage children to get out, encourage our youth to get out and read more, get into more books. And tourism, you do a wonderful job bringing in the economy, boosting our economy. St. Patrick Festival, like I said, was on the tourism, was on the WMAZ poll questions this morning. So we're doing a lot of things in Dublin and great things in Dublin. The citizens that address council, glad you came up and addressed council with your problem. This is local government at work. You come to us with a problem, and we're finding ways to help you and resolve those problems. A lot of people don't understand that we can't be as council members in every place at the same time. I don't know one person that could do that, and that's Jesus and God. But we try to be there. But without your phone calls and you coming to address council, there's some things we may miss in our ward. And we thank you for coming and addressing those issues and letting us be aware of those issues, and we'll see to it they get seen about. Still more, all hearts and minds are clear. Council meeting is adjourned.